Hello. We are gonna do a little get ready with me today. I want to talk about the Quiet on Set documentary because, believe it or not, I actually watched all of the deep dives and stuff on Nickelodeon and Disney years and years ago, and I have a lot of thoughts. So yeah, but yeah, we're gonna be doing a little get ready with me today. So I have to film some videos just to talk about some resort wear that I've got because I'm about to go on a vacation. So yeah, we can just get ready together and talk about it. So I did get a new Maybelline skin tint. The one that I originally got was it was a 220 and it was way too dark. So I am gonna be trying the 118 today. Hopefully it won't be too light, but you know, we'll see. So today we are gonna do that, and I might end up having to mix those two together if that doesn't, you know, work out. So we'll see. I don't want to use my Hydro. I have the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I don't really want to use it today because I'm trying to save it because I do have just the travel one and I'm about to go on vacation and I would like to use that on vacation. So I might just use this Set and Prep setting spray. It's by Sophia plus Mabel. But yeah, I used this before as a primer, so maybe I'll try that again today to see how it works. So let's I got all my makeup literally like right in front of me too, so it's just you know, it's a mess over here. So yeah. Also, if you see a mustache, ignore it. We are waiting until tomorrow to wax our face, and we are actually gonna dermaplane our face today after I take off this makeup that I'm about to put on, believe it or not. So okay, I just wanted to dry that just a little before I put on. If I move around, the lighting's weird. It's because I'm using my front camera to film this on my phone. I don't typically do that. I usually use the back one, but I'm trying the front one today so I can really see what I'm doing, and also, you know, be able to just make sure that everything looks good. So yes, so today we are gonna try that 118. I really hope it's not too late, especially because I'm gonna self-tan like tomorrow or so. But the only thing I really don't like about this skin tint, by the way, is that it's really messy. The applicator is super messy. If you are wearing nice clothes, be very careful when you're using this because of the applicator. So I literally just take the applicator and I just do it like this, because if not, it will get everywhere and we don't love that. So this looks really light. Oof, real light. I don't know, we'll see. I might have to mix this with the other. I'm just taking a not wet, but damp beauty blender to blend this in. What do you guys do? Do you guys do brows first or do you do brows last? I've always been a brows last kind of gal, just because I feel like it just kind of ties the whole look together after it's done, you know? Okay, I actually I don't feel like this is too light at all. This melts into your skin. It actually looks pretty freaking perfect, believe it or not. Okay, also, if my hair looks crazy, it's because I am just using this hairstyle right now because I'm trying to figure out better hairstyles for vacation, because like my hair doesn't want to curl anymore and I don't want to bring a freaking diffuser on vacation because it takes up so much space, believe it or not. So of course you know that, unless you have a travel one, and I do not. So I already got something in my eye, I feel it. But yeah, so I was trying to find like braids and stuff to make it look really cute to not wear on vacation for that matter. So I am just trying to figure it out. So I do really like how this one turned out. This look for my hair turned out really cute, and I just diffused it a little bit because this is yesterday's look and I'm just trying to use that for today's video. So I can't tell if on camera it looks good, it matches. Does it match? Is it too bright? Is it too light? Is it too yellow? In my mirror in this natural lighting, it really does look really good, but I'm a little bit concerned after I self-tan how it's gonna look. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out really. I probably should have self-tanned today for this purpose to see, but that's why I got both, because I can mix them together if need be. But anyway, okay, next we are gonna go in with, I'm about to do the bronzer. That's what we're gonna do. I've been using Rare Beauty's bronzer for a while now. The color I got was way too dark for me, truthfully, but I've been using it anyway. So yeah, but this is the shade that I've been using. It's True Warmth bronzer stick. Okay, it's not gonna focus. Whatever. It's the True Warmth bronzer stick by Rare Beauty. It is this color. It's really dark, but I feel like I like it a lot, honestly. I don't know, maybe because I've been using it for so long, but truthfully, it gets the job done. So, talking about the Quiet on Set documentary, was I surprised that it was Drake Bell that was actually the one that had suffered the abuse? I was really surprised, actually, but it makes a lot of sense, like, when you think about it afterwards, like how, like, you know, his actions in the future. Obviously, I'm not excusing any of his actions if he actually did do anything wrong, because there really is no proof that he did do anything wrong. So yeah, I mean, I am about to read Jeanette McCurdy's book. It's been taking me so long to actually get the book and read it because I'm more of an audiobook person, and I just hadn't had the chance to get it and just sit down and read it. But since I'm going on vacation, I got it and I was like, you know, this would be the perfect time to read this book. So I am gonna read it on vacation and let you know my thoughts on it. But I love Jeanette McCurdy, honestly, and the fact that she didn't take the hush money just says so much more about, like, her character. Obviously, $300,000 is a lot of money for anybody, especially, you know, those actors and actresses did not get paid that much for those shows. Of course, back then, social media was not a big, huge thing. They didn't have these brand deals and stuff like people do now. So I feel like I'm not judging anyone that actually did take the money, because at the end of the day, you know, that's your livelihood, your career. But at the end, I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, your morals. And I guess maybe Jeanette also probably figured in the future that it would come back to bite her if she ever did accept the hush money, because I feel like Ariana Grande 100% took that money. Because if she didn't, of course, I don't know, that's a big, obviously just me assuming, these are all me assuming, they're not facts of any matter, but so supposedly I feel like Ariana Grande probably took the money, or she's just choosing to be silent because of the fact that people say that once you speak out, especially in Hollywood, it's basically like career ending. It's one of those things where you're going to be blacklisted. So maybe that's another reason why she hasn't spoken out. However, there are going to be more seasons of that show. But I do want to say, like, as far as that show goes, Allison Stoner walked so they could run, because she has been speaking about this on her YouTube channel for the Disney stars and just some things about it. And she's been trying to have something like this in the works for some time now. So I really believe that, you know, some people may have stolen the idea from her. Obviously, it's one of those things that needs to be spoken about regardless in multiple childhood industries. And with all of the things that I researched and watched about the other childhood stars that went through this, like as far as like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen as well, if you go back and watch them, they have their own company now that supposedly protects young actors and actresses, and that is the company that Cole and Dylan Sprouse actually were using. So like they speak about it. If they're ever, like, if you ever see it, they do talk about it in some like interviews and stuff like that. They'll talk about it in a lot of their like younger interviews. I'm not sure how they feel as adults now about it, but that was what Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, you know, they literally built their business, and they told them they wanted out as soon as they were 18. They wanted access to all of their money. They literally built up all of their money. They had a lawyer that worked with them, an agent, and as soon as they were 18, they got out, basically. And they had access to all of their money. As soon as that, they were done. They didn't want to act anymore. And I can't blame them, honestly, because back then there was no protection for child actors and actresses, and they probably had to endure some of the worst things. And I feel like now, too, a lot of people talk about this, too, especially like very young child actors and actresses. Like, I'm talking about babies. There are, you know, they use twins because they can make them work more hours in a day because they can swap them out, basically. So their, you know, child labor laws aren't as strict. And then there are a bunch of states that don't even protect against child labor laws for child actors and actresses. Actresses? Yeah. So, you know, there are a lot of things to think about with that. And it's just like, now AI has come so far that it's not even necessary to have these kids on the shows. I feel like they could do it with AI. They just don't. And I get it, because, you know, the actual actresses add character. But after watching all of these things about the deep dives and the child actors, I don't think I would ever put my kid in anything like that. Of course, I know I would never. If I ever had a kid, I would never put my kid in position where they would be susceptible to that. So I just feel like now with the way that technology has come, there's no need for these things. So truthfully, that's my opinion, but you know, I don't know. So like, anyway, back to the documentary. So they talked about in the documentary that, you know, Drake was essayed, and that really was so sad and disheartening to hear, like that, you know, he had the worst like experience as a child, and like nobody even knew what was going on, and that his dad really tried to protect him and didn't end up protecting him. Nobody ever plays blame on his mother or anything like that, but I don't understand why. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it was her fault because obviously she had no idea, but if the dad was suspicious of this man, you would think the mother would have been a little bit more suspicious. But then again, his dad did have custody of him at the time, and then, you know, it went to where he only wanted to live with his mom. So that kind of made me wonder too, like maybe the mom wasn't always so fit to be a parent. Obviously that's just me assuming, not anything serious, of course, but it makes me really sad. And I'm sure his dad probably blames his mom for it still to this day. So that's, you know, really sad to think about. If he had just stayed with his dad, then it could have all been prevented. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that he came out and shared his story, because everybody needs to know what type of monster Brian Peck is. So, and for Disney to literally hire him as soon as he got out of prison, like he was only in there for 16 months. Disney goes and hires him to play the Magic Mirror on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Are you freaking kidding me? He was surrounded by more child actors, and there's no telling, truthfully, there's no telling how many other actors or actresses have gone through what Drake has gone through and just didn't come forward, because he was on a lot of child shows. And that other guy too, I don't remember his name, but there was another guy also that worked on the show that was essaying small children, which is freaking sick. And it went on for so long and nobody even knew what was happening, because none of these, you know, kids came forward because they were scared. So literally, you know, it's just like sickening. So, but a lot of these documentaries that I did watch on YouTube were like deep dives. Like Sloan, if you ever watch his YouTube videos, he has done a bunch of deep dives on Nickelodeon and just Dan Schneider in general, and they're really good ones that talk about basically like what, you know, he put those actors and actresses through. Because there were some YouTube videos. Dan used to have a YouTube channel that had a whole bunch of just home videos, they called them, of things that went on set, and since then they've all been removed because now it's coming out, obviously it's 2024, and it's very problematic in recent years, the type of videos that he was, you know, filming. So there is a video of Ariana Grande where you can clearly see her freaking chest you know, literally down her dress because she's laying down, and he's filming a video, which is really freaking sickening. And you can see Liz Gillis in the video, and you can tell that Ariana is like intoxicated in this video. The thing is like a bunch of the staff and stuff said, not staff, but it came out in later months that the majority of the actors and actresses on that show, Sam and Cat, I think it was Sam and Cat, was that it? Or no, it was Victorious? I think it was Victorious. Yeah, it was Victorious, where they were drinking like majority of the time intoxicated, which for them to be 16 years old, 15 years old, that's not good. Clearly, obviously they're underage. For them to be filming like that is crazy. So there's no telling what kind of like assault happened on the show just because of them being intoxicated. They were easily taken advantage of, you know what I mean? So also, I did not talk about it, but the concealer that I used is the Can't Stop Won't Stop by NYX. Love this concealer. And let's see what we got now. Okay, we're all blended out with all of our highlight and everything. Not highlight, with all of our concealer and everything. And so I watched a deep dive on Nickelodeon about iCarly and stuff like that. And you can see videos on like iCarly, basically, where Carly is noticeably like uncomfortable. You can tell she's super uncomfortable when Dan walks into the room, and there is a whole bunch of stuff about the guy that plays her brother, Spencer, on the show. What's his name? Jerry Trainer, in real life, how he basically would intervene and protect her and all the other, he kind of watch out for other actors and actresses that were young, that were around Dan, because Dan was, truthfully, I don't think Dan ever SA'd anybody, but then again, I've heard the stories about him and Amanda Bynes, and it's completely possible that it has happened and that we just haven't, you know, it hasn't come to light yet, but I don't know that he personally essayed anybody, but for the fact that he was on the show and knew, I feel like you can tell as an adult if other adults, I feel like as an adult you can tell if other adults have bad intentions when it comes to children, and you can tell if you can kind of tell if they're like that, you know what I mean? Like, you've been around someone and you just get really creepy vibes from them. How could Dan not get those vibes from Brian Peck? I guarantee you he did. Okay. So, okay, the eyeshadow I'm gonna use is by Shayna B Miami. I love this eyeshadow color. I'm just gonna use the dark one right there. I love browns, obviously. Brown everything. I just love it. So that's what I'm gonna use today. And I'm just taking this brush that I've got. It's angled concealer detailer brush. I just kind of use whatever brush I've got. I need to buy some like good brushes, but I have not done that, so. But, so when I was watching that documentary on iCarly, I was like, you know, blown away. I was like, this is awful. Like, how is it that they could get away with something like that with there being so many children on the show? Think about the younger children that were on these shows too. It's sickening to think about. And the fact that there was no adults able to protect them because they were all scared they're gonna lose their jobs because of Dan. So he didn't make it an environment where they were like, felt comfortable to voice, you know, their opinions or voice whatever they had. So I feel like it's just crazy, truthfully. All right, we're just gonna use this bronzer color on my eyelid, and then we'll go in with that darker color because I love this bronzer. I've had it forever. It's by LA Colors. It's one of my favorite ones. It is so pretty, but anyway, just like to go in on the brow and in that area before I go in with the color. So yeah, seriously though, this has been going on for a really long time, and it's finally time. I guess Drake Bell was just like, you know what? I don't have anything else to lose. Let's, you know, talk about this, because he's been going through it over the years. And truthfully, I don't believe that he actually did what was like accused of him. If you watch the videos and stuff, it just looks all very scripted, like she was reading from a script, like he really didn't do it. And if the only thing he was doing was texting someone that he didn't know was underage at the time, then like, I mean, I don't know. The way that he puts it is she stalked him basically. And then she came out and said that he did these terrible things to her, but her friends that were also at the same concert with her say that they were with her the entire time. Like, when did this happen? Like, they don't believe her. So, I mean, obviously I'm not one to be like, oh yeah, you know, we don't believe you, whatever. But in some instances, it really makes you wonder, like, are they just lying for clout? Or if she was paid by someone that knows Brian Peck because they knew that, you know, Drake had still, like, literally Brian Peck got out of jail, was not in jail, and then is still out here just working for these television shows. And Drake knows deep down, and so do like all these other people that out here defended him. It blows my freaking mind, honestly. Like, and everybody that supposedly defended freaking Brian Peck supposedly didn't know what the charges were about. You're kidding, right? I doubt that. I highly what? Why would you just randomly write a letter, not knowing what you're writing a letter for, to the court to say that they're innocent when you have no idea what they've even done? You're telling me that you have no idea what they've done and you're just writing them a letter for support? You're not gonna question that? Because I sure freaking would. Like, why do you need me to write you a letter of support? Like, what did you do? What did you supposedly do? And then as soon as like you find out what they supposedly did, then you start to think about it and you're like, you know what? You do give off those kind of vibes. I'm not surprised. So why would I write you a letter when I don't believe you? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why nobody questioned what was going on. So if I'm all over the place with this, I'm sorry guys. Like, as far as like the talking about the documentary, but there's just so much information to unpack, and it's just like, it's crazy because all of this literally is just something that happens so freaking often, and literally it goes untold. Nobody talks about it until it's too late. So I'm so happy that, you know, Drake finally did speak up about it. But at the same time too, truthfully, Allison Stoner actually did talk a lot about what it's like to be a child actress, what it's like to deal with this industry and what they have to go through, the type of scenes that they have to reenact. She never did talk about, like, I don't feel like, you know, stuff like that, but it definitely happened. Even Demi Lovato admitted that on the set, I think it was on the set of Camp Rock, that she was essayed basically by someone else on the set. and they never said if anything was done about it or anything like that. She never admitted who it was. It's all just speculation saying like who it was, but she did admit that that happened. So if this is happening on the set of kids' TV shows, TV movies, you know, like what's being done about it and how are people dealing with it? You know what I mean? Okay, we are about to use this Wet n Wild Brick Brown eyeliner. I have not used, this eyeliner looks a little bit more red than it does brown. I'm a little bit worried. I wanted a dark brown eyeliner just for my like corners and stuff like that because I didn't want to use black because I feel like black kind of, I don't know, black can really not work for people that have brown eyes. So I wanted something softer. So I went with this little brick red brown color. And I'm gonna have to look at my mirror to do this one because, you know, it's a little close. But yeah, this is a little bit more red than I thought. Obviously it looks crazy right now, but I'm gonna go in with the brush and like feather it out because that's really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to feather it out to where it looked a little, and I may put some on the bottom because I feel like that would be pretty, but we'll see. So yeah. And then if you hear like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's story too of their experience, like don't get me wrong, I loved like John Stamos and all that, and I do think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were all like comedians, and comedians make really terrible, sick jokes, and it just kind of like they were all like, oh, why don't they want to be on, you know, Fuller House? And I know exactly why, because they chose to stop acting, and probably because of the trauma that they endured from the set of that show when they were kids too. They were like, you know what, I think I'm good on acting forever. And then just, you know, and they've also built brands and stuff since then, and some crazy stuff. So I do think, you know, it's worth mentioning that they had to deal with a lot, and I don't think it's fair for them to judge them based on the fact that they don't want to, you know, be on a show that gives them like mental trauma from when they were kids. You know what I mean? I loved that show, don't get me wrong. I loved Full House, I loved Fuller House, I loved those shows, but at the expense of, you know, their like mental health. Is it really that deep? You know what I mean? This is not blending like I want it to blend. This is just like this isn't the type of freaking eyeliner I should have got. I should have just used like a brow pencil maybe. I don't know. It's not doing what I want it to do, that's for sure. I'm gonna go with the rest of it and just like do the rest of my makeup as I was gonna do it, but I don't think this is working out. So, well, this side looks so much better though. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just gonna do what I normally do and go in with a dark brown eyeshadow and just deal with it like that. Because that's what I should have done to begin with, honestly. Because clearly this isn't working out. I truly think, like, as far as the shows and stuff goes, there's ways to go about the things that have happened on these shows, and there's ways to not go about it. So I do feel like it's unfair for a lot of these child actors and actresses to not be able to talk about these things. Like, I feel like they've been silenced because they say that it'll ruin their careers if they open their mouths about the industry. And like a lot of us have known from a while, from the start, that some things were going on. And you can just tell on a lot of Dan Schneider's shows too, the type of references and stuff that he makes on his shows, or that he made on his shows, sexual references for a child show. Disgusting, you know? They say the same thing about SpongeBob though, because like, you know, like it's Bikini Bottom and all that. So just, I don't know, that's all I'm saying. It's crazy. I don't know, this is not working out. I would try something new when I get ready with me and completely hate it. So that's where we're at. That's my bad. So truthfully, with the child actors and actresses that deal with what they deal with, being told to be quiet and just keep their mouths shut and, you know, deal with what they have to deal with so they can become famous is gross. Completely gross, and makes them think that they can't literally talk about it, period. So that is, it's awful. And like, if you look at, you know, Amanda Bynes and where she's at now, she's literally just trying to have a normal life. She just wants people to leave her alone. She's trying to recover from the dang trauma that she had her entire life, the conservatorship from her parents, like all of that. She just wants to have a normal life. She just wants to be able to, you know, just be left alone. And there's people constantly still making tabloids about her and following her around. And for the most part, she shut a bunch of that down. She still has to deal with it, you know? And it's just really sad because she deserves to be able to have a normal life and to be left alone and to not have to deal with this shit. But, you know, at the end of the day, what can you do? Okay, I'm gonna use some of this I Am Beautiful mascara just to get started, and then after that I'm gonna use this Buxom Cosmetics. This is my favorite mascara ever. I have been using this one for a little while now. It's probably expired, but it's my fave. I use that one a lot. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring this closer though, because I can't do this from far. So I also think Josh Peck also took the hush money, and he's turning out to be a really like shitty person. I really thought he was, you know, I defended him for the longest about the whole thing with him and Drake, and I was like, he just wanted to distance himself from a drama and all this. But now I'm starting to see like patterns with Josh where like that whole thing with him and Jeanette McCurdy really rubbed me the wrong way. Like he said that she owed him something because she wanted him to remove the podcast episode. Truthfully, she could have saved his ass, because if that podcast episode had aired and she was talking about what Dan Schneider did to her and he was defending Dan Schneider, maybe she knew it was going to come back to bite him someday, and so she asked them to pull the episode. But she could have had them air it and then them talk about how he loved Dan Schneider and his time on Nickelodeon. And yeah, maybe he did love his time on Nickelodeon and everything, but not everybody had that same experience. And for him to just dismiss Jeanette having a bad experience on, you know, Nickelodeon is ridiculous. And a funny thing about Josh and Dan Schneider is the fact that literally Josh and Dan Schneider had a lot in common, and I feel like Josh looked up to Dan Schneider because Dan Schneider, on like his first thing, he said that he wanted to be more than just the fat kid and show everybody that he was more than just the fat kid on set or whatever. And I feel like Josh related to him a lot, and that was, you know, another reason why he was so insecure and wanted to lose weight and, you know, not just be the fat kid on set. I get that, but I do feel like maybe Dan Schneider like favored him and obviously thought of him like himself when he was this age, and was probably a lot easier on him than other kids because of that. But, you know, that's all just speculation as well too. Truthfully, you know, Josh just said Dan was a hard boss, and everybody has hard bosses, but when you're a child actor, there should be no hard boss. You know what I mean? Like, not like obviously like everybody gets a trophy, whatever, you know what I mean? Like the mental abuse that he inflicted on all of his staff was just that. It was mental abuse, and they are gonna have lasting trauma from that for the rest of their lives. Maybe Josh grew up in a childhood that was better, where he had protection from parents in that type of industry, but there were a lot of kids that didn't. Like Jeanette, she didn't have protection from parents. Her parents actually basically used her as a bank account, so she was the sole provider in her family, and if she didn't, you know, do whatever she was doing, obviously her mom, you know, had cancer, and she was probably helping to pay those medical bills. So, you know, Josh obviously maybe didn't have those type of obligations, so he was really just thinking about it as what it was to him, which was an opportunity. This is not me defending him. This is just me saying, you know, like obviously he did have a different experience, and that's okay. We can validate his different experience, but he should be able to recognize that not everybody else had that same experience that he had. And a lot of people suffered, and even the freaking staff, like you're telling me that and I don't know if I do believe that Dan Schneider was the reason they had to share a salary, because I don't know if he actually had control over that. That could just be something that Nickelodeon, actual, you know, owners of the company swept under the rug, and the fact that they had to share a salary is out freaking rageous. Like, everybody wants to pretend that or gender inequality didn't exist and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we're not still sharing a salary today, but gender inequality does still exist. But you know, it's just crazy to me that all of this was going on, all of this was happening, and literally it was just, they were just letting it happen. The fact that there were kids in hot tubs with grown-ass men blows my freaking mind. Like, that right there is unacceptable. I mean, yeah, he had all of his clothes on, but still, you know, you don't know what was happening under the bubbles. And like I said, I don't know that I believe that he did essay any of those children, but at the same time, I'll never know. And neither will a lot of other people, because the truth may not ever come out about that. However, I do feel like now that people are actually speaking up about it, it's a possibility that the truth does come out eventually. I don't think Ariana Grande will ever speak about it because, like I said, I think it would be not in her best interest for her career and her perspective. But like, she's gone through a lot of trauma, and that could be the reason why, you know, she is the way she is now. Everybody talks about, you know, her questionable relationship choices and why she acts the way that she acts, and she had to act like super ditzy on Sam and Cat, and victorious, and it's like maybe because she had to act so immature for so long that I don't know, it took her a long time to actually mature. I'm not really sure. I'm not saying she's immature, but a lot of the things that she does, you can just tell like she's not, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know, I like Ariana Grande. I think she's a good singer. There was speculation going around saying that they thought that maybe she was, you know, anorexic, but truthfully, I don't believe that she was. I mean, like, I personally know from working at a hotel that I used to work at that she actually has a lot of dietary restrictions. Like, she's allergic to gluten, I think, and like stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that she doesn't eat. Like, she eats very healthy. I mean, I don't know, she could have had some type of sickness, and because someone with a small frame as Ariana Grande, I feel like if she lost 10 pounds, it's gonna be very, very noticeable. And she could just be one of those people that's just naturally small, and it's completely normal for someone naturally small to be like, get sick and like say lose a bunch of, or not really a bunch, but like 10 pounds, and then like you'd be like, oh my god, like you look sick, you know what I mean? It's possible. So I think, you know, everybody kind of jumped to conclusions saying that. But then there was a bunch going on in her marriage, and like saying that her husband was cheating on her, or that she cheated on him, and all this and all that, which is completely possible, you know? So maybe she was going through a lot mentally and needed to take a beat, you know? I think they also made her dye her hair like platinum blonde for that Wicked movie that is coming out, which I think is unfair. They have wigs now. She could have worn a wig because she had a bunch of mental trauma. She talked about it working for Nickelodeon for Dan Schneider. To keep that red hair up, they made her dye her hair. Her hair was falling out. She didn't get to wear wigs. That, a lot of trauma itself. I mean, think of all the freaking chemicals in the hair dye. For having to do that, she probably had to do that once a week, and that's not good for your scalp, not good for your brain, especially if the dyes had like PPD in it, you know what I mean? All I'm saying is, there's no telling what type of mental trauma that girl's got. So I just, you know, try not to judge anybody else, because truthfully, we don't know. We don't know what they went through. We don't know what type of issues they personally deal with day to day. We're gonna use this Juvia's Place Eye Sculpt Eye Shade Brow Gel. I'm about to do my eyebrows, not today, but someday. Not someday, but I've got to do them today by the end of the day, because we are going on vacation and I like to get them done before then, and they just need to be trimmed and plucked and all that good stuff. So I am just going through and putting this in there. I might just leave them like this, truthfully. I love this Eye Sculpt Eye Shade Brow Gel. It's just so nice. And I've noticed, like, on my like no makeup days too, I will just do some clear mascara. I have this clear mascara. I can't remember who, it's by Physicians Formula actually. And it's just this clear mascara, clear brow gel, and I'll put that in, and that'll be the only thing I wear for the day. And it looks really, really good. So I'll show you guys that one day. I think actually, if you watch my pack with me or vacation video, get ready for vacation video, you'll have seen where I had that on, because that was the only thing that I had on. And then I had on some Glow, Revlon Glow Illuminizer or something like that. But anyway, yeah. So that is good for what we are doing right now. Obviously, I don't love how that eyeshadow turned out, like I told you guys, but that's because the stuff didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. If I had the right actual brow pencil, or just the right one in general, I think it probably would have looked a lot better, but I do think it's okay. It looks fine. My eyelashes, by the way, I lifted them myself not that long ago, so they're pretty good without me having to curl them before I start. But I did start doing this trick that I heard another YouTuber talk about, where you just basically like press your eyelashes up when they're still a little wet, and they just kind of stay up there. So I've been doing that for a little while now, and really like how it looks whenever I get done with it, honestly, because they just I guess because they're still wet, they kind of just stick up there, and they just look so good when I'm done. So yeah, now I'm just gonna do lips, and I think my hair is still good. I diffused it, but I hover diffused it so that way I didn't have any like frizz or anything, because it's already kind of frizzy. But yeah, this is the look. And I usually do like an actual brow pencil, but I don't see mine over here, so it's probably in my, oh wait, there's one right here. I think this one's a powder. Actually, we'll do this one because this powder probably will work out just fine actually. So just to darken it up just a little. It really is like a powder though, so you're basically just like drawing strokes, but it looks really good whenever, because it adds that definition. That's what I like, the definition of that line at the top and at the bottom. Just really defines your brows more. So that's really what I try to go for. So this one never wants to look as good as the other one, truthfully. So this is just the Wet n Wild Brow Maximizer Powder Plus Gel Duo. I've got to hurry up because Nathan actually gets off work at like 3 p.m. and then he'll be home and I want to be finished filming those YouTube videos before he gets home. So yes, we love it. Now, I'm gonna go get lips and then I'll be right back because I want to show you guys how I do my lips because they're just so cute. Okay. I didn't actually do any bronzer on my face other than just the contour, so I'm gonna use some of this Well People bronzer. This is like my favorite one. It's really, really nice. Sometimes I literally just use this on eyeshadow and literally just, like I just use this for eyeshadow and then I'll use this as bronzer too. And it's the perfect no makeup type of look, so yeah. But it's really, really nice. So, okay, now I'll show you lips because I did this combo the other day and I loved it so much. Okay, so we are gonna use the NYX pencil. I don't know, what color is this? This is in the shade Rose. Very, very pretty shade. So we're gonna do that. And I always put freaking chapstick on before I do my lips. And today I did not, so they are gonna be dry. So just know that they're not always as dry. Just a little, and then gonna fill them in a little bit with this lip liner. Dang, they dry. They're like Sahara Desert dry over here. Okay. And then after that, I'm gonna go in with this the Milani Raspberry Peach Lip Oil. And I have like the fat oils from NYX and I thought I was gonna love those, but I actually like this one better. So I bought these all from Target. So literally this lip oil is just so beautiful. And it smells like I could eat it, not gonna lie. I feel like I used something else with this. I just don't remember what it is, but I don't know. I did this combo a while ago and I can't exactly remember everything I used with it, but this is what we're gonna go with for now. So yeah, this is the look. I hope you guys enjoyed this little get ready with me and chat since it's been a while since I've done one of these. But yeah, that is basically all my thoughts on the Quiet on Set documentary. Probably not all of them. I have a lot of thoughts. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this little get ready with me video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.